Winter brings holiday cheer, but on Wall Street Bets, it's all about the wobbliest trades. While you were sipping hot coffee under a cozy blanket, we saw someone secure a 2,900% gain. To someone who managed to lose $150,000 in a bull market, buckle up as we dive into Wall Street Bets' wobbliest winter trades. Severe Life is a user who got way too addicted to gambling his paychecks on risky investments. In early 2024, he made a New Year's resolution to get rich quick. It didn't take long for him to dive headfirst into options trading, specifically throwing all his money into super microcomputer options, hoping to strike it big and fulfill his resolution. Fortunately, SMCI skyrocketed 316%, and his portfolio was now sitting at $18,000. At this point, most people would consider locking in some profits and walking away, but Severe Life was far from most people. The rush of seeing gains was intoxicating, and soon enough he tossed a chunk of his newfound wealth into SPY0 DTE and XOM options, looking for the next big score. While these trades provided him with some minor profit, it didn't take long for things to go downhill. His portfolio often sat in the red as he continued to gamble his entire portfolio into risky trades, unable to resist the temptation of more potential gains. I smell some serious FOMO here, but Severe Life says, it was never a loss, but I was trying to chase the money I had acquired. I was able to recoup my losses on SPY0 DT and some XOM options, but always was left with nothing, because I would almost always full port into trades, not wanting to miss any gains. His portfolio is now resting in peace at $8, and year to date he has lost a total of $47,000, a stinging 99.98% loss. I could have been DCA BTC, or even SPY shares or anything else and been completely chilling, but I'm a degen gambler after all. Soon enough, chasing that bag turned into chasing real losses. A half of a year of trying to chase my losses. I'm down bad. It wasn't all for nothing though. Severe Life claims he's learned his lesson and will be different next year, which means no more gambling or high-risk plays. Let's hope he fulfills this resolution in the coming year. JediConsularBC is someone who is too civilized for the Wall Street Bets subreddit. Around May 2024, he decided to try his luck by putting $500 into his account to see if he could grow that small amount into something more significant. But unlike the common degeneracy often seen in the subreddit, he set some rules for himself that I think are pretty smart. Here's how he approached it. Firstly, he aimed to double his money in the initial play, a high-risk but potentially high-reward strategy. Once he reached around $2,000, he made sure to spread out his bets and avoid putting all his eggs in one basket. Thirdly, his goal was to gain enough to build a solid long-term investment position. He treated the money as if he never had it in the first place, assuming whatever he invested could crash to zero. And perhaps the most disciplined rule of all, no additional deposits. The only exception was using a few bucks from a rewards program linked to his Schwab American Express card. JediConsularBC didn't dive in blindly. He focused on companies he had followed for years like Garmin and TSM, using call options timed around earnings reports, expecting those earnings to deliver good news. Working in aviation, he had seen firsthand how Garmin approached its latest developments and knew it had long-term potential. TSM had been a long-term hold in his Roth IRA, and he had watched it rise as TSM's Arizona factory developed. Rocket Lab was a no-brainer for him since he understood its contributions to space exploration. He was by no means a financial expert, but he had a good sense of how new tech and products could impact the market. His strategy was straightforward. Buy calls with expirations timed around earnings reports. Simple, effective, and in this case, it actually worked. His calls hit harder than expected, giving him a 2,900% return. In just a few months, he turned his $500 into $15,000, which, according to a recent update, has grown to $18,000. He says, I have a lot to learn, but I'm thinking my best course of action is going to be to take the gains I've made and use them to execute the remaining 8 RKLB calls I have to give myself a nice long-term base, or I can go full regard, we'll see. Commercial Ease is a user who, like Severe Life, is also addicted to gambling his entire portfolio on risky trades. Around a week ago, when everyone was buying Christmas decorations, this degen gambler threw a total of $260,000 into quantum computing at a price of $8 per share. Unluckily, over the next few days, QBT's share price dropped to $6.50, resulting in a loss of $27,000. However, this massive blow wasn't enough to make him quit. He told himself to stop checking his portfolio when it was in the red and to spend time in the market rather than timing the market. He should give himself a pat on the back because on the 17th of December, he sold his QBT shares at a price of $8.90, bouncing his portfolio to $310,000, a $50,000 or 32% gain. He says, I sold at $9 and saw it went over $10, meaning another potential $35K I missed out on, but it's okay, I was losing sleep over having so much at stake, and it's better to walk away with something versus keep risking it. Never want to be the last one to sell. This wasn't his first time making such gains. Rather, a while back, he made $27K with Rocket Labs, then $13K with Archer, $20K with Rigetti, and finally $15K with SoundHound, proving it was more than just a miracle. However, the only worrying aspect of this is his strategy of dumping his entire money on one stock and choosing either to ride or die, with nothing in between. Someone said, "Don't do that again, bro. A miracle saved you this time. Might not happen again. Diversify." To this, Commercial Ease replied saying, I wouldn't call it a miracle per se, but yeah, obviously it can go bad. I usually am pretty diversified though. This is my separate brokerage account. I don't do this kind of thing with my 401k or Roth. After I sold this, I took that 310k and spread it back around 15-20 different stocks that I usually hold. That's a wrap, folks. I hope you enjoyed WallStreetBets' Wobbliest Winter Trades. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.